Enter a new era of color and brilliance with Vizio's Quantum Pro 4K QLED Smart TV. With over a billion hues of vibrant color, plus wide viewing angle and anti-glare film, it delivers perfect clear picture no matter where you're sitting. It even comes with over 300 free TV channels and thousands of on-demand titles with Vizio Watch Free Plus. And of course, all your favorite apps are built in, so you can start blasting your favorite music, radio, and podcasts from iHeartRadio straight out the box. Head to Walmart.com to find the Vizio Quantum Pro today.
And action, everybody. There we go. Action, Dave. All right. Here we are in studio doing a Pastimes podcast.
Don't touch.
Okay. It's been 2 days since President Biden passed away. Welcome to the Pastimes. It's a podcast where each week we go through. Hey, you better not.
I know.
Where we go through a newspaper from a random date in history.
We had to can your episode, unfortunately.
Yeah, we can't promote the tour.
We're going to have to just hold for a couple of months until
You have to push the tour because of my little joke. If you guys could just make it maybe like December would be unbelievable.
It's a month of mourning at the moment. So.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Pastimes podcast. Each week we go through an old newspaper from a random date in history picked out by Dave Anthony. I'm Gareth Reynolds, and I've never seen it before, and neither is our guest this week, Aunty Donna.
Pleasure.
So welcome here.
Thank
We've got
you.
Mark, Zach, and Broden. All three of you are here.
Yes.
In America, the best country on earth, right?
Some would say.
Yeah.
We're on an Esther.
Yeah.
Some would say. Some would say.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Keep in mind the president just passed away.
I know, which is
You're
very
really lacing
sad.
that. You're making the edit really hard if he does.
I might have to take him out. It might have to be me.
Are you familiar with an Esther?
Esther.
Yeah,
No.
see, this is only what, overseas people know. An Esther is like a visa waiver that you have to do. Do you get interrogated when you come back to America, or do they just let you through?
No, they put you through some shit, but it's not like what you have to go through if you're not from.
Yeah, we
They're-
get
they-
interrogated.
they can be total dicks. I think that's the word.
I'm filled with nerves when I go through U.S. Customs.
Yeah.
More than international.
Well,
Totally.
no matter how prepared I am, I'm like, I've got my ESTA, my visa thing ready to go. I was told I need my COVID vaccination thing. They always throw me a curveball.
Really?
Yeah, this time it was like, need to see your return flight.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, and they didn't get asked that.
No.
And every single time I go there, I feel like I'm 100% prepared. They say one thing, and then I'm like,
Well, I don't think maybe Americans fully understand. Like in this country, when you're coming into this country, it's not like that at most customs.
No.
Most
Not
customs,
at all.
They're kind of like jovial and like they're kind of like, "Hell, was it a good time?" And you're like, "Fuck you, Jack!" Like, But
you,
coming
Jack.
here, But coming here, it's like long lines.
Yeah.
Just so much bullshit.
And there's nothing I like more after a 14-hour
I know.
flight than a long line.
Yeah.
It's
You
just
get
like
chilled so much, you're like, fuck, maybe I am here to blow something up.
yeah.
Maybe I am.
oh god, what was I?
I think I didn't pack my own stuff. Actually. I think a terrorist.
I mean, I think I might have tried coke 20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah. And you guys have a tour
Yes.
coming up in the fall, basically.
Yeah.
And people can go to antidonna.com.
Yes. We're going to UK, all of America, Canada, Australia again.
Wow.
Part of our
You
world
got
tour
them on the list?
is Melbourne.
Right.
Ireland.
Wow.
Scotland.
How long
wow.
is the tour? 2 months?
By world, we mean English speaking.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
It's 2 months.
India.
No, unfortunately, we're not going India this time. But we will get there one day.
One day we'll get
That's
to India.
exciting.
Yeah.
We did one show in Hong Kong once.
Oh.
How was that?
Not good.
No,
Interesting.
because we thought it would be for expats, and
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was for locals. And,
that's
and-
crazy.
And you could see they were watching it, and a lot of people speak English in Hong Kong, but the 20 or so people in Hong Kong that don't speak English came to our show, and they were just sitting there like, oh. And we thought we'd chosen a pretty physical hour of comedy, but
Yeah,
there was
right.
still a lot of words and ideas.
Yeah,
that,
right.
You
This
needed to
just
speak the same language.
That's when you
Pleases us.
That's when you're realizing, like, I think you need to understand
Oh, yeah,
English.
this boy is screaming, and this boy is now screaming. I don't know what they're screaming about.
So everyone go to antidonna.com. Go check you out. Does James Fosdyke do your art?
Yeah.
Because I always feel like we've had that
Oh,
connection.
that's what it
he's
is.
brought you.
Yeah.
He's been bringing you guys up to us for years.
Really?
Yeah.
And you haven't been paying attention?
Not
No,
at all.
we refused to. I was 20 minutes late
I
because
thought you were like an old lady.
yeah, Dave thought it was James's actual aunt.
We wrote a best-selling book.
Yeah, right. That's right.
We wrote a children's
We
book.
wrote a book with James.
Really?
Not a bestseller.
Really?
Yeah. Yours did
Well,
way
ours was
better.
a bestseller in Australia, so
Yeah, not real
Let's
best.
all
Ours
calm
wasn't
down.
anywhere. It was available in Australia. I think he put his heart into it. But no, I can't remember the first. It was definitely years ago. He was like,
Yeah.
he was just, he's
incredible.
You're
He's
incredible.
He told us that he had to go. He said that he had to make his drawings less good because people thought he was just doing filters online.
Wow.
So he said he had to make them less good so people knew they were.
We don't know
that
for
he
sure
did
he's
them.
not doing that. He could be a complete charlatan.
I bet he is.
Yeah.
That wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
Is the
Yeah.
dollop image him?
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
He does.
Wowee.
He does basically all of our art. Yeah, and we did a book that was like based on some of our podcasts, and he was drawing the art, and they like the only notes they had were like the scrotum's weird. Like there were like 2 scrotum notes, and that was it.
You know when there's not enough notes? So like everyone always complains
Yeah.
about too many notes.
Yeah.
When there's not enough notes, you're like, oh.
we only
like
got-
this?
we
Yeah,
got-
we do.
we did this. We did a series of YouTube videos for V, the energy drink. Do you have the energy drink V here?
I don't
Are
think
you
so.
aware?
I
don't
of
think
that?
so.
Or is that just an Australian?
America's not big on energy drinks.
Yeah, no. If you go to the gas station here, you will notice it's mainly water and apple.
Well, we have one. It's called V. I guess it's like it's Red Bull-esque.
Okay.
And they gave us some money to do some sketches for them, and they were literally like whatever you want. They were like whatever you want, and we're like okay. So we wrote a bunch of scripts and sent them to them, and then the only note they sent back was, will we literally see the sunscreen put into a man's asshole?
That was the only note.
Question mark. It was less of a note, more
was
of
a
a question.
question.
And we went, no, we don't have to do that. Then
We
went,
can.
And that,
Are you suggesting we go in that direction?
it's just a sketch where we just wrote like a bunch of dot points for things that could happen.
Right.
The first pilot we ever did was for the ABC in Australia.
Yeah.
And it was in competition with a bunch of other pilots. And the only note we got from them was we heard from other shows that they were getting big, thoughtful notes and like detailed, interesting notes. And the only note we got back from that is not sure about the dildos.
Yeah. And we changed the dildos to something else.
And that was like, I don't think we're going to get a series. And we did it.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you say we did a pilot, it
Yeah.
normally means
but
there's not more.
we
Yeah.
did change.
That's how most of my Hollywood stories start.
Yeah.
What did you change?
We did change the dildos to shoes.
That's nice.
So yeah, we changed it.
And
to
here's the
shoes.
thing: maybe if we'd kept the dildo,
Yeah.
we would have gotten
it
the
would have
show.
cut through.
Or they would have
Yeah.
also passed on it, but you could be like, we really showed him.
At least I could have been like, that show was me.
Yeah, right.
That was my show.
That actually, and many things I've made, we don't get picked up, and we go, well, why? We shouldn't have just taken their notes. We should have,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go through a random paper. I always like to guess the year. Dave, it can normally be from 1600 to recently, I guess.
Wow.
The 1600 ones are really weird. I'm going to guess he tries to do one for you guys from Australia, and I'm going to guess that it's going to be from 1813. That's my guess.
Wow.
Okay.
And this is where I leave the show. Good luck with everything.
Wow. Can I guess?
Yeah, please.
Up to today?
Yeah, can it be up to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go quite recent. I'm going to go 1983.
That's a really good guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
cool. Thank you.
I think that's a good guess.
Thank you.
Yeah. 92.
Wow.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say 76.
76. You guys are really.
76.
You
Oh,
guys are way-
18.
I'm afraid you're not allowed to guess that year on this show because
17,
America.
1876.
You went 17, then you went 18.
18.
It's
Dave, leave him alone.
It's 1767.
Oh,
shit.
Kidding me? That is very early.
in America?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in
Ah,
America.
the
Yeah.
Australia thing
Australian-
I just bought into. your show.
I know nothing.
Yeah, he's
So pre your is it?
It's pre-America.
Declaration.
Free
of
the best
Yeah.
country on the earth fully
Yes.
being formed.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. USA, we support it. God picked it. It's number one. Thank you, everybody. God picked it. Come on.
In some categories, that's not untrue.
Illiteracy, police violence.
Sour drinks. You do more sour drinks here, which surprised me.
drinks, police murders.
All right. what
Yeah,
do we?
it's the Hartford Corinth from Hartford, Connecticut.
I was just there.
May the 4th, 1767.
May the 4th
Star Wars Day. Did they celebrate it back then?
Yeah, they did.
Or were they assholes about it?
Wow.
The first story is Star Wars Day.
Luke's father dead.
So this is another thing about papers back then. They would get news from stuff that happened way before. So this happened on January 9th.
Oh my
So
god!
they're a little bit
Oh
behind.
my god.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's like a whole.
They had, there wasn't enough, I guess.
Yeah.
3 of the writers condemned at, I'm going to say they're trying to say Gloucester?
Gloucester.
Gloucester? Might be Gloucester.
It is.
So one of the things here is papers are sold as S's are written as F's.
Yeah.
So it gets very confusing.
I'm also feeling really nervous because every American I've ever met, you guys do a lot. You know a lot about your own history, like more than I know about Australian history.
Yeah.
And there's always this expectation. Like the amount of times I've been like, "You don't know the founding fathers? Like, why would I know?" So I'm super nervous.
Would they avoid writing suck, or did they just go for it?
Well, that is a very tough one because they're like, fuck. Or,
Yeah, like
wait. No, he was.
It looks the same.
He fucked ass.
it just
no, he
looks the
sucked
same.
ass.
I can't tell the difference looking at them. They look pretty similar.
And let me tell you that the ruse of the dollop is that not only do I not know anything going in, I don't know anything about history. On our podcast, I confidently said Ben Franklin was a president.
He's not.
And he wasn't. And did you know that before?
He went to France for a very long time. He's very responsible for the
This is
the
tough.
war being ended. He apparently.
Right, and how much of this is from Hamilton the music?
No,
Is
no,
that
I'm
in
not
Is
saying
he in
this.
Hamilton?
I don't think he
One of my
is.
favorite series is John Adams, and he spends a lot of that rooting French
yeah,
women.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And
We
then-
should explain to our listeners, rooting doesn't mean cheering for.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
Getting his end in.
Yeah.
You think one Australianism to do, find another Australianism.
He got his end off, and he put the key on the flag. He put the key on the kite, which is also a euphemism.
Yeah, that's right. We've all done that.
Yeah.
The Prince Albert. Put a key on your kite. I've done that.
So Ben Franklin wasn't. What was he?
Just
He was
some
just a
bald
guy.
shithead.
He was a
How do you know the
founding
guys
father.
that weren't even, like?
He's a founding father.
He was like the Elon Musk.
Yeah, he was an inventor. Was he inventor?
He was inventory,
Did he invent
right?
shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah, he
invented
was
stuff.
inventory.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is great for me.
Also hated Germans. So
Yeah, well,
Just like Dave.
yeah. So January 9th, 3 of the rioters condemned at what'd you say, Gloucester were executed there.
Oh, goodness.
And the behavior of one of the sufferers was very affecting and made deep impression on the spectators. Of the other 2, little can be said. One was ill, the other was very ignorant.
What did the one guy? Who's the guy who won the execution? What was he doing?
He won.
He must have like cried and put on a show, and everyone was like, "Oh,
For my next trick.
so there was.
balloons!"
Yeah.
So this is Hartford.
Yeah.
Where is
Or
Hartford?
It's like north of New York.
Northeast, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this has nothing to do with sort of those like the red coats killing
No.
protesters. It's just a separate execution.
We're not there yet. I don't think that would happen at all. I mean, it could
I'm a
be
little
a
offended
red
at
coat thing.
how much more you know about our history than I do already.
It's sad for me. Too.
I'm actually started doing the podcast with him.
Come on, Dave, you needed it. That's the whole point.
But wait, what were they executed? We don't
It
get any
doesn't say.
information for what they were
That's
executed for.
I think it's one of those things where they're like everybody knows the 3 guys are getting executed, so we don't even put it in the paper. You're just supposed to know.
You know
Yeah,
the
you
guys.
just-
The guys
yeah,
from
yeah,
Russia
yeah.
getting
Guys.
executed.
Which is just but they do that a lot where they underdevelop like what they're talking about in the
Yeah.
like you definitely are like what's going on
Yeah.
and then they'll just like go on about like a spoke for like 8 pages. They'll be like,
So
let me
it's-
tell you.
It's
Yeah.
got Mark always talks about the start of the movie Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah.
where he's doing stuff and then it freeze frames and he goes, "Yeah, so yeah, record."
This is me. Can you believe it? Let's find out how I got here.
So that's the structure for writing newspapers.
yeah, that's
isn't it?
wild.
Like it's so how did we get here?
Yeah, they
Let's
don't-
go back.
they
I
don't
bet you're
stop.
wondering why these 3 guys are getting executed and this guy won the event. Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just ends there.
Well, we're not going to tell you that. Credits.
Next story.
That was
That's
the
it.
whole
That's it.
story.
Hang
You
on.
get those a lot. That's
It's
it.
just an execution.
Yeah,
So-
3 guys. One was sick.
one
One
guy
guy
was-
was dumb, and one guy was good.
Do they
but-
have they're like hot journalists looking for scoops? Like, do we have their names and stuff in this, or is this
No.
it's just
Nothing.
So is this before
ether.
like the long form journalism? Do we get anything long form in this?
No, rarely. Not
getting like a-
in
about
something this
spokes.
old at
You
all.
get
They
spoke- you get
really go
long-form
on.
spoke stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll print like a letter from a king or somebody, and it's very long. And
Yeah.
you're like,
wow.
it's all just
Jesus
bullshit.
Christ.
But most of it is just like the three dudes.
Yeah.
They were affecting.
It's hot bite. It's TikTok.
It is.
That's
yeah,
very.
It's
Yeah.
TikTok.
It's Twitter. It's TikTok.
I don't care what he did. So what? He screamed at the execution. Look at him dance.
Next one. At the sessions, which began on Wednesday, 3 convicts.
For what?
I'm so excited for this. It's great to have you guys experience this for the first time. This is what I do all the time. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on?
3 convicts received sentence of death.
But this is the same
Different-
story?
No, it's a different story.
different
What is
concept.
going on?
This is like the next one down.
There's another
It's
thing.
Like, it sounds like it's like a Three Stooges plot book.
Timothy Treadell for robbing General Elliot on the highway.
Okay.
The
yeah.
highway.
That was pretty
Robbed the
common.
general.
Highway
17.
robbery.
This
man.
is this is like this is they're on horseback and
Yeah,
shit.
but that's why I'm like, the highway? They're like, whoa, come on. That's the carpool lane. Slow down, you.
3 convicts from, that sounds like us, 3 Australians.
Yeah,
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 we
that's
do
what
convicts.
that's what immigration was wondering about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slow down, you 3.
William Collingson for forging a draft on Sir Joseph Hankey.
A
Excuse
draft
me?
on a draft.
So forging a
draft.
draft?
I think it's a check, right? I think he forged a check.
And they're killing him.
oh right.
I don't know. He
forging
didn't kill
a
him.
check.
He just forged the check, and then you get that. That's it. You're
So
done.
he forged a check and now they kill him.
and they're gonna kill him for
That's,
that.
that's,
Yeah.
that would have made a
That's
very
execution
different,
worthy.
I mean,
what's
it's
that Leonardo
America.
DiCaprio
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can. And now we sentence you to death.
Excuse me? I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Different Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can. So
Yeah.
the hedgehog, death.
And this is it. And John Williamson for the murder of his wife by confining her in a most cruel manner and starving her to death.
Okay.
All equal crimes.
Yeah.
All the same.
Starving a woman, robbing a general, and writing a bad check.
The punishment.
All the same.
Hey,
the crime.
don't talk about what you guys did, because one of you is going to be furious. I starved my wife over 14 days. I gave her a sip of water each day.
Is this,
Write a check.
is this in dot points?
Dot point.
Yeah, like
No,
are these
No,
Gross.
it's just a
free form?
it's a paragraph.
What if we saw that it was handwritten? We're like, Dave, Jesus Christ, this is insane.
This is my novel.
Yeah.
My dream job.
Often they don't even put paragraphs and you just read, but this one at least has paragraphs.
Yeah, wow.
The poor creature was kind of an idiot who, having a sum of money left for her maintenance, Williamson, to possess himself of the money, found means to marry her. Okay, so she was rich and he,
Okay.
Married her,
Starved
starved
her.
her to death, tried to take the money.
yeah, basically.
Oh.
Got the
Okay.
rope.
Yeah, right.
This is public executions as well, by the way, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
how'd
saying?
they kill
Yeah,
people
these are
back
public
then?
This is public
executions. Yeah.
hangings.
Was it hanging?
Yeah, I would assume it's hangings. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
How far away are we from the Salem era? Pretty close.
Yeah, it's probably near-ish.
Pilgrims and
Probably before.
Salem was, I think, is late 1600s.
Oh, wow.
I've pretty much
I know
got
nothing.
the Crucible.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of 100 years missing, and then about the 20s. I catch back up with American history.
You gotta watch There Will Be Blood. That's how I know.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
By Daniel Day-Lewis
Crucible,
films.
There Will
Yeah.
Be Blood, and then 20s on, I'm pretty good.
Go eat.
All of which, all eras have films starring Daniel Day-Lewis. So.
That's
True.
it, That's it.
Yeah.
Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis is my...
I bet you're wondering how I ended up here.
Yes, you're wondering how I got here. Well, my boy, you see.
My boy went deaf and lied to me.
So this is like the execution, like it's the job application. It's just a list of
Oh
executions.
yeah, this is a great question. Is
This
this the
one-
front page?
This is the front page. This is just describing these guys have now been
Publicly
condemned to be executed.
And in both groups of three, there was someone that was referred to as an idiot and a fool.
yeah, idiot's
which is
very,
very interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's the Three Stooges. There's a curly, yeah, right, yeah.
So this goes on about the guy and his wife. They were first asked in church, but the trustee forbid the banes.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Banes.
Sure. Bane from Batman.
Oh, it's Bane from Batman.
It's about Batman.
I want every character I want to keep going. I bet you're wondering.
wondering how I got here.
Oh, so the church must have forbid it because she was an idiot.
Oh, okay, so maybe
She was an
someone's
idiot.
Someone's
was
a
the
bit dim,
idiot.
like a dim.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
think she's dim, and the church was
So
like,
this is
no,
like-
no.
This is the grimmest fucking
Yeah,
thing
this
I've
is
ever
bad.
heard.
Yeah.
Married a mentally handicapped woman,
Basically.
for financial reasons, and then pretty much
Starved
Starved her to get her
Yeah.
money.
And meanwhile,
The other
there's
guy.
another guy that forged a check who is just thinking now, the shit I could have done.
Oh, God, you can do so much more.
We were both going for money, but mine was just paper. Yeah. It's also interesting that idiot was like, back then, you're like, medically speaking, she's an idiot.
Yes.
Yes. It would have
So-
meant something very different.
Yeah,
than-
yeah.
Just the cycles of
Totally.
how far back.
The villain, however, procured a license, and about 8 months ago they were married. Since which
Love the villain.
usage. Can't read that. The unhappy creature received.
Eufage, I think it is.
Is it euphage?
Yeah, it would be.
It looks like euphage. The euphage the happy creature received has been one continued scene of cruelty. He had driven a long, boy, you can't read this, strong staple into the wall of the closet in the room where they lodged. And to this staple, he daily tied her with a rope,
Oh my God.
which he drew around her middle, her hands being fastened behind her with iron handcuffs.
I wrote a check. I made up a guy on a check.
20 years. I'll take $20.
It was like $8. I just wanted to get some potatoes. This guy, are you fucking kidding me?
Hang me over there. Don't hang me next to him.
Can we do different days?
The little sustenance she received was laid upon a shelf within the reach of her mouth.
Oh
just
my
within her
God,
mouth.
this is, I mean, horrendous.
So that if
Seven.
this is so that if it dropped any part of it, she could not recover.
Ugh.
And so the barbarous and so very barbarous was the I can't read that villain, that he often tied her up so tight that her toes only reached the ground. And if his daughter attempted to alleviate her misery, sorry, I gotta go
His
to the
daughter, he has
Yeah,
a daughter
yeah,
as well,
daughter,
from a separate marriage.
Watching all
next-
this.
must be. By setting a stool for her to stand on, he used to beat her unmercifully. So he beat his daughter if she tried to
Yeah.
help her out.
Oh my.
So the daughter couldn't help the lady trying to get the morsel off the
Yeah.
shelf.
To quote Norm Macdonald's joke, this guy sounds like a jerk. It's like a real
He does
jerk.
not sound nice.
I know the Bible says, "Judge not, lest you be judged."
But I'm going to make a controversial statement. This was not a nice guy. Oh my God.
Oh, this is. I hope they go into the other crimes.
No, they
Do
don't.
we even know what the third guy did?
There's no room.
This is the
Did a
third
robbery.
guy. We had a check writer and a guy who robbed the general.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no,
what the guy
no,
wrote.
I
I just love the idea of you go through all of this, the most horrific thing I've ever heard. And the other guy was for like $8. Like,
Yeah.
It's like hey, speaking to the editor, which way should I order this? Should I start with the horrible murderer who tied a woman up,
Yeah.
or should that come last?
Yeah. Also, like, the check one's pretty straightforward. So is the highway thing. The meat of the article to me is the guy.
You got to
who,
know where the story is.
I love the idea that wasn't in
yeah.
the original version. They just listed the 3 crimes.
Yeah.
They're like, look, I understand why you'd kill the first 2, but can you actually dig into the...
It's actually a very interesting story. He mousetrapped her.
The third crime doesn't sound too bad. Maybe if we go into detail, people will understand.
Yeah, maybe I'll play up the daughter couldn't watch or she'd be hit angle. I mean, there's a lot of meat on the bone.
Because, we kill
don't
a guy
say
with the
meat
check,
on the bone.
absolutely.
There's a lot of meat on the
There
bone.
actually
That's a
wasn't
good
meat.
title.
There wasn't meat
Whatever
on the
we
bone.
use to write with, I'm hitting it.
Did the woman die, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
From what?
Yeah, from
Can we get an
All the
autopsy?
things.
Yeah. What do you think it was? What got
Yeah,
her?
she starved.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
god.
Most fucked up shit I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
so we're gonna leave that one because that just goes on and on.
It goes
Really?
on.
Oh, no,
And
please keep going.
It's not. It's really not. It gets really not. It's really
Just
not.
the juxtaposition.
I'm going
is
to sound like a
incredible.
mother, but is this a sketch idea?
So but the article starts with two things, and then it's like a comedic structure is like 1, 2, and then a joke that goes on forever.
yeah,
like,
right, yeah.
Guy
That's
robbed the
right.
place. Guy wrote a fake check. Guy tied up his wife.
Right, and then kept her.
By the way, he also.
Little backstory.
And
My God.
yeah.
What a different, it really was a different time. back
Yeah,
then,
it was
you know?
a
I mean,
simpler
Can you
time.
just tell me how it ends?
The last one, yeah, she's covered in vermin, and they find her.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's cool. I'm so
know what?
glad you
I was
asked.
just going to say thank you.
I'm so glad.
Thank you for
I didn't need to know, and I
The
regret
person
it.
who does
I
this
regret it.
podcast made the call to edit it. After having read quite a
And
bit.
they lived happily ever after
Maybe
anyway.
it would be something a bit.
You know what?
They got remarried.
They got remarried. They
all
worked
good
it out.
But in the
counselling.
end, we forgave him for all
Yeah.
the good deeds he did afterwards.
He gave her a sandwich, and here we are.
My goodness.
No, that's
me.
horrific. I'm so sorry I asked.
I think that's a really good question.
You know, if I say I'm not going to read it, it's
Yeah,
really.
yeah, that is so true.
Okay.
Just bear in mind how much was read before the call was made.
Yeah.
I'm happy with
Maybe it's gonna.
everything
Maybe
else.
there's an upturn.
But it just ends on we found her covered in vermin.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's so
She was covered in
bleak.
vermin. Anyway, off with their heads.
Off to sports.
Anyway, off to sports.
She exploded into flowers.
Well, kind of.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's
Kind of.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure you're road trip ready. If you need brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
Just took a while.
This is from Boston. We hear from Stoughton that a few days since died there Mrs. Mary Horton, aged 150 years.
Bullshit.
kidding.
Come on.
Bullshit. There's no fucking
That's 220 in today's years.
She's flying her ass off.
That's like the Bible was always about, like, was the pulling the 5,000s and the 2,000s and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that just incrementally we've gotten more honest with
Yeah,
ages.
yeah, right, yeah.
150.
No one could keep track of it.
No.
There's
No
there's
way.
probably
Having
why.
said that, if you ask a 98-year-old person how old they are, they've got no clue.
No, that's
Right.
true,
So
yeah.
if you're asking,
I'm
150.
150, I am.
That's the best thing about that.
210,
Wow, all right.
330, I am.
The price is right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just have to move town twice back then.
Yeah.
You just move town, add 20. You know?
That's
like,
right.
That's all you had to
That's
do to
actually
get to
true.
150.
That we at some point you mentioned, I guess it was probably more like 1400s, but it was like if it didn't happen within a mile of where you lived, like you just that
Say
was
whatever
it.
you want.
So
Yeah.
she goes
Good.
one town over.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm 440.
And it's like it's proof journalism stays the same as well. Is the journalist hears that and goes, "That's bullshit,"
Right.
But I'll put that in, and that's going to be a great
Yeah,
read.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
They
he's got
say
a
it.
he's got a tough act to follow. He's like, yeah, pretty good, Randy. My lady, she's 650.
And we put her to death for that because apparently that's a crime.
Yeah, she dodged execution
yeah,
through dodgy checks
yeah,
and robbing.
yeah.
She was a native of Jamaica, and in the great earthquake at that land about 60 years since, she was taken up floating on the water and brought hider by a something belonging to this place. Her husband was also taken up at that time, and bro hither.
Yeah, I like
I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, yeah.
Brought, it must be brought hither by
hither.
another vessel, by which means they met together to their great surprise, both imagining each other to have perished in the terrible catastrophe.
Boat sank.
No,
Boat-
earthquake.
So they're on an earthquake, and somehow after the earthquake, she ends up floating.
She's floating. I got the floating bit.
Did she not
But
get
why
on a
is she
boat?
floating?
in the water.
She's floating in the water after
This
the
is all a
earthquake.
lie. This is all a lie. This is all a lie.
Yeah, at the end there's just like a calligraphy. Not.
And they picked her up. A boat picked her up, and then her husband was also taken up at that time. So by
So
another
they
vessel.
got picked up separate,
Yeah.
but in the same vessel,
Yes, the same vessel picked them up, but they were floating in separate places.
floating in separate places.
Wow.
This
Good
is-
novel title.
Yeah.
A Jamaican couple as well.
But what did
Yeah.
Jamaica mean back then? Like, did Jamaican was Jamaican a
Yeah, it
colony?
would have been.
Like, so is she Jamaican in the
She's
sense
pro-
that I think, or is she
Yeah,
like
go ahead,
British?
Dave. Say the good news.
Yeah,
Dave.
super slavery.
That's what I was about to say. We're right in
yeah,
slavery.
yeah.
So is
Forget
that,
about
when I
slavery.
hear
We
brought
try to as
hither,
well.
bro hither, is that forcefully brought here, or is this a northern United States kind of mentality?
Or was
I
she the
don't-
slave owner, maybe?
I don't know if they would get this written if they were not white.
Right.
They had the slaves.
Wow.
They had the slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they would write this about.
So this is two potential Caucasian British Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This podcast is a minefield.
It's a very strange, very strange little show we have.
This is a minefield.
A lot comes at you. Yeah. Good, great questions, though. A lot of times I'm just like, okay.
When was the Civil War again? 17s and 18s.
Ask him.
Civil War 18 teens.
Teens?
18
18.
teens.
1860,
Damn it.
1864.
60, 60.
Wow.
1860s, yeah.
That's
So, yeah.
not that long ago.
And also
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know, the great thing is we're totally over it.
yeah, you guys
Yeah,
were
we're not.
That
still
cleaned it.
fighting.
Not sick
happens.
clean.
Everyone
ended.
wrapped that up, tied it up with a bow.
It ended. It's
moved
over
on.
for sure. And it
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
out pretty great. And all the monuments and flags from that
Yeah.
era of the losing
No
side.
echo. No echo.
Not an echo at all.
No. That's good.
No,
and
we've
everyone
removed-
agreed on everything between
Since
then
then,
and
it's
now.
been pretty smooth sailing,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say.
awesome.
It's the begin. God picked one country to make his favorite, and it's a man.
So-
and he picked us.
So it's a white Jamaican 150-year-old earthquake surviving
Yeah.
Well, when
woman
you put it like this.
who floated
Yeah, she floated.
because of an earthquake, floated away.
Uh-huh.
This is
Well,
all
and
just-
then
this is a
met her
lie.
husband.
This is a liar.
Maybe. I mean, yeah. This guy was
Liar.
just.
They probably there's probably a terrible earthquake, and she was like, I got to get out of here, and
Story.
they let him get on a
Myth.
boat, but
Yeah, got on a
it's
boat. Yeah, that makes
it's
sense.
it's really
Yeah.
blown up, and it's a lie now. I agree.
Yeah.
Next story. About a month since was born at General Winslow's farm, Marshfield, a daughter of John Fullerton.
I was wondering if John Fullerton had a
Yeah.
daughter this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
About a month since.
Yeah.
I said that. I was saying. I was like, I hope we get John Fullerton
There's a
news.
well, yeah, you heard Hartford, and you're like, there'll be a bit of John Fullerton.
I was
goss.
like, was she born in 1776 or 75?
There's a good chance.
Whose age is 73 years. His wife,
That's nothing.
he's 73.
Oh, he's 73.
His
Oh,
Get out of
wife
here with
is
your
47.
73.
He's got
Hey,
another
that's not so
70 to
bad.
go.
Come on, I know a 150-year-old who shot out of an earthquake a week ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, 73. Next.
The child being his 17th.
Okay. now I'm
Oh,
listening.
my God.
Now I'm listening.
Boring time.
He has two daughters that are grandmothers. The one has
that's
two
concerning.
grandchildren, and the other three. The last mention was present at the birth of her sister.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is fun. This
Miss-
is kind of a Ripley's Belief.
This
It
is a
vibe,
yeah.
you
This is
know?
also a math problem.
Yeah, it really is.
What was the average human lifespan for back then? 76 even seems
It's old.
ridiculous
That's
to
old.
me.
I think if
Wait
you're
till you hit the 150-year-old.
Now imagine doubling that.
But like,
it depends who you are. If you're a slave woman, it's
Yeah.
about 38 years.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow.
Now, if you're a rich white lady, I think it's a lot more. You
really,
know?
people still
Damn.
living that long back then?
I mean, average, but if you get through a certain age, you keep on trucking for a while.
Yeah,
but most people died when they were babies, so it throws the whole thing off.
They still had sweet greens and tender greens back then as well, so a really healthy diet.
Oh, yeah. Just the best to go.
Organic, everything.
Yeah, they had
organic,
Paneras.
yeah.
It was a
filling,
great
and that's what's
Tokaya.
important with
Yeah,
the
totally.
healthy dinner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Fullerton has 50 grand and great grandchildren.
This is more
4 of which are now living. Okay.
Wow.
There we
Wow.
go.
Yeah.
So the
Wow.
kids all die.
Yeah.
The kid, like you crank them out because you're going to crank out 10,
every
you're going to
time you
get
fuck,
2. You
right?
get
Every
2
time.
good
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing. Is every culture once they figure out baby mortality, that's the generation that has 10 kids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like I'm Irish, Australian, and my dad was 1 of 10. You know, and it's every. But that's because they did that. They would
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have 10
yeah,
and,
there was-
and hope for 2. You know?
Yeah, right.
You
And
ever
then
go-
they're like, shit, 10.
What am I actually
Out
going to
of
fucking
50,
do with 10?
I hate medicine.
4 are alive. That's incredible. What a hit rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough.
No.
It's not enough.
Well, it
No, but he
depends.
was like, wow, 4? I'll love whatever I'm eating.
Far out.
Is this the second wife? Like, or cause how old is she?
47.
47.
47. Probably a second wife. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would think so. Yeah.
All right.
A lot of
All right.
He's
say it,
still
a lot of
he's,
coming.
He's
A
still
lot of
fucking
com-
though.
yeah, a
He's
lot
not-
of, yeah,
lot of
he
coming.
spoofed them out.
Yeah, he loves-
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo.
She's young.
What is she, an Israeli model? Come on.
Come on, everybody.
Good night.
The pastimes will be right back.
This is some news out of Providence on April 11th.
I've been there.
Have you? Which one's Providence?
Rhode
It's
Island.
Rhode Island, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Peter
Which is
Griffin.
our state.
Yeah, right.
The tiniest state.
I was just there. Yeah, I was just there too.
Don't touch
Where,
me.
yeah, you're everywhere.
I went to those 2 cities recently.
Did you really?
And I'll keep bringing it up when it's appropriate. It doesn't really do much for the show, but it's just interesting.
I hope you say Melbourne. I hope you say Melbourne.
Yeah, please.
We have the following odd affair related to us by a gentleman of this town who was an eyewitness to it.
Here we
Is
go.
this another
Here
cheeky
we
one?
go.
I don't know.
Well, this
That
could
on-
just be full of shit. This is just like this article
I
is
heard
literally a guy told me a story.
I've heard this.
That's what this article
I
is.
also love how like funny language was back then. Like an odd affair. I'm thinking it's going to be a fun little quirky story, but it could just be.
yeah.
It'll be a
Involve
man
rodents.
who's
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
babies in his basement
Yeah.
for 10 years.
A man ate a baby.
Yeah, hung next to someone who tripped over a stool.
Yeah.
Particularly odd.
particularly
It's a
odd.
bit bizarre.
Okay. That on Monday, the 16th of March, the Reverend Barrett of Hoppington, Hopkington,
That sounds fake.
in this yeah, it does. In this province, was walking in the highway in that town near the house of Mr. John Abe with a great coat around his shoulders, but on a sudden he missed it. And after looking some considerable time, he saw it at about 100 yards from him, hanging on a tree near 30 feet from the ground. Oh, so the coat
Yeah.
got blown away.
It's amazing that the stories we've heard so far, and then amongst that is like, a coat was caught in a tree.
Yeah, but now
You're not going to believe this one. I'm sorry, I'm still ill from what he did to that woman. Well, hold on.
There's more.
He couldn't find his jacket for a while. Would you believe that? So she just starved and verminated her? Yes, boy, move on. His coat was adrift.
This is an English country at that time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You could feel it, can't you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. A coat? Gone? Now I've heard everything.
To get rid of this, we just had to kill him.
It's the only right decision this country's made.
You're a decade from Chuck Norris, just full.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We must reasonably suppose that it was taken off by some invisible hand. Invisible is in italics.
Oh, yeah.
As it was a very calm time and not wind enough to blow off his hat.
It's like ghost supernatural vibes.
So the hat stayed on and the coat blew away. Riddle me that, Batman.
But he had it tied around him. He wasn't wearing the coat.
He had it
Draped
over him,
over
right?
him
Like
like
upon
a
him.
60s.
Around his shoulders.
Yeah,
Like
draped.
a sort of
Yeah.
Escaping
draped.
it.
Yeah, that's
Asking
right.
for an invisible
He
hand to
was.
yank it.
He was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds different than
That
how
could
I
be a
meant it.
miracle.
That proves ghosts exist.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
this
it a
is-
reverend? Was it?
Did the U.S. shoot it out of the sky?
No, near the Reverend. There was multiple names.
Did the reverend
mentioned.
witness it, or was it the reverend's jacket?
It was his jacket, right? Hopping.
The Reverend was walking.
'Cause that
with the
could be a
jacket.
bit of a
John
thing of
John
like,
Abe
oh.
John Abe saw
saw it.
it happen.
Yeah, wow.
The coat was taken down and weighed by some gentlemen. Then,
Of course, you got to weigh it. Well, let's see how much the coat weighs.
This is just what happens when you don't have the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun afternoon.
Well, I think we all know the next logical
You're
step.
telling me that coat ended up in that tree and there was no wind? Get me some scales.
Well,
goddammit.
let's have a way and put this to bed.
bring the weigh stones.
You guys got a few free hours to weigh a coat?
That's the week.
Weigh that coat right now.
That'd be great. We'll weigh that coat. We'll talk about weighing the coat.
Yeah.
We'll call the journalists and tell them about weighing the coat.
Oh, weighing the coat so
Talk of
good.
the-
Someone's about to get pregnant at the coat weighing. I knew that much.
Gather round. All the Reverend is weighing a coat.
Well, we didn't expect 5,000 people, but we're not shocked.
I don't even know why he's weighing the coat, but I'm simply fascinated.
Oh, it ended up in a tree.
Oh, really?
Look, and we're going to prosecute an invisible hand. We all know why we're here.
We're going to hang all the women in this village. For
Obviously, the
witchcraft.
witches in the corner had something to do with it, and this man who forged a check. Why am I here? Shut up, Frank. Shut the fuck up. You're losing your head either way.
It was found to weigh about 5 pounds. Oh, strange. That's the end.
Oh, that's so Ripley's, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is 5 pounds?
What is? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
About
what 5
2.5 kilos.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty heavy
That's
coat.
a heavy coat.
It is heavy.
It is a heavy
Is
coat.
it?
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy.
It is.
It didn't take the hat.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, your coat, you have a coat, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a coat. Not
Should we
here,
weigh it?
though.
Let's
No.
weigh it. Aaron, bring the scales.
I want to weigh these goddamn coats.
Let's weigh this coat.
So that's the whole newspaper, or is that one article?
That was one. That was just one article. Yeah.
That's not an article.
Yeah,
That's
but it flew into a tree.
No, the
but-
story happened. Like the coat flew off. It hung in a tree. They took it down and weighed it.
didn't
Beginning,
take
middle,
his hat.
end.
But it didn't take the
It didn't
hat.
take the hat.
What was the
how
last?
strange.
What was the last phrase?
Oh! Exclamation point! Strange!
Oh,
Exclamation
strange.
point!
Oh, I didn't realize it was strange.
Yeah, so that's what
Oh,
you missed.
strange.
I
Yeah,
do
so
like
it was-
because this is Crucible time, isn't it? This is around.
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when was it? Is kind of full on that kind of thinking could have that
Oh,
dark
no,
of an end.
we did one around this time. I think that was in England, but there was like a guy who beat a woman.
Oh, my God.
Did he beat her to death in like line because he was like, well, this is a witch.
Yeah.
Like that. This story was like this guy found a witch, and she was like waiting to get food, and he was like, nope, and like, started beating her.
Oh,
like,
I do remember.
I think he beat her to death, but he started beating her up, and everyone was like, "What are you doing to that old lady?" He's like, "Well, she's a witch." Like, so it's definitely that time
It's just
where
the
you're
idea
like,
that like they would be like, "Oh, this coat flew off," but it would have been a very slight turn, and they would have blamed people. for
Why
it.
wouldn't
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah,
guy who
yeah.
starved his wife be like, a witch?
"Oh, because the daughter probably narked on him." But then he also say it's two witches.
She's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch. That's the
But
best move.
if it
Also
comes-
a witch.
If a coat flies into a tree
Yeah, that's.
and there's a woman around, she would just be like, "Oh God."
She'd jump in a
I'm there.
bush.
Oh, yeah,
she would
like,
jump in a
'cause
bush and be like, I live in here now. She'd be like,
I fucking that. I hope that coat
Well, I
comes out
don't-
light.
I don't see a woman around, so had to be an invisible. Hold on.
yeah.
What the? I see a foot.
Next woman that comes by here is in big trouble.
I wonder if there's a weight for the coat that would make the woman not be accused of being
Yeah.
a witch.
I think
like
two-
if it was half a pound.
I think
Yeah.
2.5, like £5. That's in the
You're a
Ripley's
wich.
Believe It
Yeah,
or Not.
yeah, that's a
more in the,
heavy-
oh, strange.
that's strange.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you got any more than that,
10-pound
you
coat?
start.
Well, shouldn't it be the,
Well,
the-
if it's like a 10-pound coat, you got to burn the village.
Absolutely. Well, that I do still support.
There's
I'm one of the
an
few people
evil
who's
there
still on
so
that.
deep,
Yeah.
it's underground.
And they all know they're coating themselves in kerosene. They're like, well, what do you want?
it was a 10-pound
We're not sure.
coat,
Of course it is. Here you go. Strike the match. End this.
£5? That's fun.
That's fun.
That's kind of
That's so strange.
That's
so
cute.
strange.
That's fun.
it's
Oh, strange.
so strange.
That's so strange.
£7, we're really pushing it.
I feel
It's
like
not strange anymore, is it?
10 pounds. Purge the earth.
One of us is the devil.
I feel like in my lifetime at least, I've seen like there could be ghosts to like that's or UFOs to that's really not a thing talked about. That it's like peripherally talked about, but like nothing's believable at all anymore. Like that when I was a kid, there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
I
Yeah.
watched the X-Files. I started rewatching
That's
the
also
X-Files
not
a
real.
little bit
Did you think
ago.
that was real?
Why were they filing it?
No, I'm more of a Scully.
I'm afraid.
I'm more of a Scully.
I'm afraid I choose to Scully the
It's
X-Files.
going to take more than a decade of seeing aliens to convince me.
Nice try, Mulder. I'm afraid the X-Files might be real.
But I think the funniest thing about X-Files for me is so not that long ago, it was kind of fun. Conspiracy
Yeah, they
theories
were
were
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's fun. That's
Yeah.
a fun thing for a person to think that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of.
But then when they start tearing apart your society, you're like, oh, that's not good.
With the stuff that just happened here with us,
we had UFO mania.
we've declared a war on balloons and we're winning it. by
Yeah,
the way.
congrats.
Congratulations.
If you worried about your fuck you, we're coming with a boot up your balloon. But that has really started a lot of that now. Like, there's a lot of UFO stuff here right now. A lot of people think that the balloon stuff is in some connection to UFOs, and
Tom DeLonge would be having the time of his life.
it's
now.
we're having a real party.
It's definitely
there.
resurgent in Oh Strange, you know.
Yeah,
resurgence in Oh
we're
Strange.
definitely living in Oh Strange time.
Yeah.
There's an orb on the beach in Japan.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
that was
about the
strange.
orb.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh Strange.
Oh, strange.
Yeah.
What was the orb?
They just
don't
found
know.
an orb washed up on the beach. It's an orb.
Yeah.
It's a It's
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm sure it's either one of two things. It's either an alien
Egg.
device that's going to
Or an
destroy
invisible hand.
life, or it's a buoy.
Yeah, just some sort of buoy.
Well, I refuse to believe in either, honestly. They both sound a little crazy.
How much does it weigh?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a buoy.
That's okay.
Yeah, but everyone's
Okay,
Yeah.
famous last words, right?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be wild if it ever did happen? Like if that was an alien
What if it?
device?
it just
What if
hatched?
like everyone's like it's a buoy, and all of a sudden it just like rolled over and there was an eye? Oh god!
That'd be great.
A few years ago, we made our Netflix show and we were doing any promo we possibly could, and it was at the exact same time that the monoliths were going up. And a YouTube channel in Australia approached us and said, "Do you want to help? Do you want to build a monolith in the forest of Melbourne, and we'll claim that we did them all for your Netflix show?" And we said, "Yeah." So cut to. We've got a trailer on the back of a car with a giant monolith made by some like dudes in the suburbs. We take it out to the forest, we put it up, we release a YouTube video with these guys claiming it. They try and make it go viral, goes up on Reddit, and the first few comments like, "That's bullshit. You're trying to get on board." And then snapped like a week later, it's got 5 million views, and we're getting asked to go on Jimmy Kimmel.
Very close to getting on
God.
Jimmy Kimmel about it, yeah.
And people were fully like, "Yep, it's these guys have done it." And
We
it was
claimed all of them.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But the best part about that, right?
The
was
Donna
huge.
list.
yeah. We never. Oh fuck!
Damn, we can go back. We can go back.
But the best part about all of that was that wasn't their first pitch. So the monoliths was
Oh
a
my
huge
God.
thing. It got really big views. But before that, they were like, we're going to do a Flintstones car. And they were going to get a car and cut the bottom of the car out. And then we were going to walk the car to a drive-through.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, and they couldn't find the front yard to do it in because they were from Sydney. So no one was, they couldn't find a front yard. So we'll just do the monolith instead. I gotta be honest, I kind of wanted to do the Flintstones.
I can't imagine you. Well, here's our second idea. We claim that we're doing the monolith. It's like, sorry, these are both your ideas.
I did a thing. We should shout them out. Great YouTube channel.
Yeah. They know how to do good on
they rock.
internet.
God,
So funny.
saying yes to that is just like, yep, for sure. We will claim that we did the monolith. Absolutely,
Yeah.
For our Netflix show.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever.
absolutely,
Whatever you
Yeah,
want.
okay, sure.
Cut to Neil Gaiman doing a Flintstones car to promote the Sandman.
Oh my God. Ow.
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 Yeah, I think we would have really hurt ourselves.
Yeah, we would have lost
Oh,
our
that's a
feet.
crazy
Yeah,
idea. I was
yeah,
quite
yeah, that
nervous
sounds
about the
horrible.
idea. Yeah.
What if we approached a hill? Up or down?
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah. And by the way, you can only break with your feet. Action. Wait, what?
Huh?
Five Below means hot stuff, cool prices, and the best kind of fun anywhere. The trends you see all over your feed can be yours for way less than the rest. Like can't keep in stock candy and snacks, brand name beauty, the latest tech, room decor, and lots more. Get a whole week's worth of amazing graphic tees for the price of one elsewhere in our iconic Five Below tee shop. Be the ultimate collector by grabbing the latest Hello Kitty or Funko fan faves. Plus, get extreme value finds you just have to see to believe in our 5 Beyond shop. Oh, and one last thing. Everything you need to live your best summer vacay or staycation starts at just $1. Yep, you could say we're kind of a big deal here. Shop one of over 1,600 stores nationwide and fivebelow.com.
Stolen from Sundry House and Shops in Middletown. The night after the 30th of April, a claret-colored new broadcloth coat with flowered yellow buttons and lining rather light than the cloth. A clean, genteel gun, about 6 inches of stock next the muzzle, has been broken off and glued on with a rag.
What?
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
What?
I love
Go back.
I love
Go
just
back.
variety in grammar. Like there has not been that they've not said a date the same way.
Yeah.
Wait, what was glued on stock? I got lost at stock.
Okay, a genteel gun, which already you lost me. About 6 inches of the stock next to the muzzle, so next to the muzzle,
Right.
has been broken off and glued on with a rag next the barrel.
So they glued a rag.
So they
Is
they used a rag to tie it together.
So did they use the genteel gun to do the
Wait,
robbery?
yeah, because was this stolen?
No, this was
This
stolen.
was the item that was stolen.
This was also
right?
stolen besides
also-
the jacket and this.
How much? Do we know how much the jacket weighed? I guess is what we're all wondering.
Yeah.
You know what? They didn't leave a weight here, so I don't know how they're going to get it back.
A little strange, Dave.
Well, yeah.
5 pounds we know is about right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the going jacket weight.
I'm such a big fan of the way they choose to order things as well. This
Yeah.
is again another example of a jacket and also a sawn-off shotgun.
With a rag.
Tied together with a
Glued
rag.
glued on. It's very important that you put in glued on with a rag. Because that's the most defining detail of my gun. And if somebody sees that gun glued on with a rag,
Let them know. It was a really weird thing I was doing. I glued a rag onto the part I cut off. Are you writing this down? It's all got to go in.
And it's genteel.
It's genteel, by the way.
This is
Yeah.
a brute gun. No.
No. I don't use guns for force.
Anything else stolen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Black Barcelona handkerchiefs,
Okay.
a silver watch,
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
a collared shirt, 3 pair of men's shoes, a stone ring, the stone out.
Stone ring, stone out.
No
I like
stone.
that honesty.
stone.
So it's not a stone ring.
A
then.
stone ring.
Also known,
for a stone.
AKA ring.
Yeah,
It's just a ring.
Yeah.
A quantity of money, both silver and paper. I would have put that
Acorn.
first.
Yeah, I think so.
I also
Yeah, the
love
list-
acorn.
If you see my money,
And a bunch of my money.
No, there's
You'll know
no
it if you
amount.
see it.
no amount.
Is that where did you get that? Because I'm actually missing a bunch.
I just love some money.
Some money.
Some money.
Oh man, yeah,
Bit of money.
They stole some money.
Some money.
A worked pocketbook. Whoever shall apprehend the thief or thieves, so that he or they may be brought to justice, shall
pronouns.
have $5 reward. Paid by Nathaniel Brown, Aziel Johnson, and Esther Whitmore.
Are we now? Is this reward still standing? If we were to find these items,
Yeah, I
today?
don't see why it wouldn't be. It's
And
probably,
is that a decent reward for back then?
I bet it's a
500.
lot of fucking money.
Yeah, $5 would be a fair bit.
I bet it's a lot.
I like the idea that it's the same.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Well, because
I'll give you $5.
Is it like,
of
what's the
stuff.
currency here in 1700s? Is it is it pound?
It's pound, yeah.
So 5 pounds,
So yeah,
same as the code.
yeah. Right. Whoa.
Well, this is $196 today.
Wow, yeah,
It's not huge,
Yeah,
man.
that's
200 yeah, it's not a lot. It's
$200 for my shit back. Like, I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
not-
fair.
yeah.
I mean, the item
My
is-
weird
Although
my-
how much money? What if is the money like $20? Or then
Well,
it's not.
well,
What's the quantity of
Yeah.
money?
But also,
Yeah.
I care about my rag gun. So
Yeah, it has sentimental value.
My rag.
Yeah.
It's like a big chunky gun. Not so much, but it's quite a genteel
Yeah.
gun you got on.
It was my father's.
So
rag gun.
that's a fair reward.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy, this is some news out of Springfield. It's we hear from Springfield that one day this week a young woman of that place died with grief, said to be occasioned by a disappointment in a love affair. The young man who is said to be the occasion of her death was present a few hours before she died and then offered marriage to her, but it was then too late to preserve her life. It is said the young man now lies at the point of death. This may be a warning to young men not to make a practice of deceiving the fair sex.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. What is?
Are you sure that was Springfield and not Fair Verona? I'm so sorry.
The past times will be right back.
I'm so glad. I've been like the Leonardo DiCaprio joke's been sitting in my brain. I've been really regretting that. I'm so glad you threw something in.
So he's died from embarrassment.
Or
No,
she-
I think that.
But did he propose to her right before she
Yeah,
was
I
Yes.
thought-
as on her
Okay.
deathbed?
So I think this is how it worked out. I think that he decided not to marry her.
He was toying her
then
along?
fell into, as a woman will, if you say I won't marry you, she fell into
an illness.
total death.
Yes.
And then right before she passed, he felt so bad that then he asked her to marry her, but it was too late, and then she died anyway. And now he is like beside himself, almost dying. Yeah.
Are there euphemisms going on here? Is this kind of...
This is perfectly factual.
But are people dying of grief, or are they sort of implying heavier shit there, or are they just... Do they think people died of grief then?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine they did. I mean... Yeah,
crazy.
they thought people died of the craziest shit for a while, way into the 1900s.
So she was possibly just dying from like some normal thing.
she like had cancer.
Yeah,
They were all
syphilis.
Like, oh my lord, syphilis, right?
He gave her syphilis.
Yeah.
She was dying of syphilis.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, we could get married now.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Her nose.
That's it. That's the story.
It's just, it's just something really funny about being like, no, I don't want to marry you. And she's sick. Oh, I feel bad. All right, I'll marry you. And then she dies. And he's like, well, I'm fucked now. I'm so sad.
Oh, my God.
that I've got to die now.
Well, I'm sure everybody was like, Bill, what the fuck did you do? And he's like, no, everybody hates me.
Hey, will you marry me? And she's like, it's too late. I'm dying from your rejection. And he's like, this is so weird.
I do love the lesson at the end of
I'm
that.
gonna go die now.
Don't play with girls' feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, that is a very... So if you're going to learn anything... Don't mess around with women.
Yeah, it's a moralistic newspaper, isn't it? It's all morals.
Yeah.
Boston, April 16th, last Tuesday morning, as the Reverend William Hooper, minister of the Trinity Church in this town, was walking from his garden to his house, without any complaint of illness, he instantly dropped dead in the yard.
Was there a proposal? Was this...
before he got to his door.
Okay.
He was a reverend.
This sounds like God was like...
Probably tried to take his jacket.
You're not doing a good job.
Right.
And
So
then
He just dropped dead.
A guy walking to his house dropped dead.
the guy walking from his garden to his house.
He had a stroke or he had a heart attack.
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
Or
I think he was 198 years old.
Yeah.
It could have been a witch.
Yeah, it could have been a witch.
Could
It's
have been
either
a
a
witchy.
stroke, heart attack, or a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the three.
That
So
seems
a
pretty
witch got
clear.
him. And that's just like, that's very... I mean, okay. I would imagine more people are dying, but this guy just...
Well, this guy's probably more famous because he's a minister in
Right.
Boston at Trinity Church. That's a big church.
Newspaper, right? There's no talk of like international politics. There's no talk of,
You know what?
taxation without representation.
Some of it's like that's where they just print these long letters and it's super boring and the language is hard to understand. So there's a little bit, but I like to
sometimes in
pass
some
it.
of these old papers, they will cover international
A lot of
news.
international,
This paper is actually surprisingly sticking to local.
This feels like
news.
E-news kind of energy. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like it's the gossips.
How much
Yeah.
of
But I
this is there as well? Like, how long is this paper?
Well, the podcast is 3 hours. So the paper, Dave, how long?
I don't mean in terms of wanting to get out.
No.
I'm having a
I was
great
a little
time.
late, and it's about 3 hours. So
No,
that's
no,
how we're doing it.
I want to finish this newspaper.
Yeah, we're not leaving until this goddamn paper is finished.
My question is, I feel like a lot of people back then would have died without complaining of illness. I feel like that wouldn't be of note. Like,
Well,
I feel like
your general condition would just be such a more like your skin was a prison in that time, so much more. Than
But no, I think it makes sense that it's of note because if someone just drops dead and you're not aware of what a heart attack is or what a stroke is or anything like that, that's an odd event. You have no concept of why they were okay and then dead.
But this is what I'm saying is now if someone did it, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty crazy because nothing showed up in the autopsy.
Yeah, right.
I feel like 50% of the population would have died.
They often go down with the fever.
Every
The
heart
fever.
attack,
If you have
every
the
stroke.
autopsy now, you would probably find out what it was, and then you'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't a lot of people, anyone that
Why
died
is this
a
of
stroke,
interest?
anyone that died of a heart
moldery
attack,
approach, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, they'd be like,
Muldery.
Very moldery.
a lot of them would be like, who's the witch?
Yeah.
Who's Smite Bob? But yeah, I
We
think they
didn't
were
find a
probably
witch
just
or a
like,
woman or a god hand.
because I think you're right. I think most people died of a fever or had like a
most people had,
Assumption.
so people didn't get to strokes or heart
Yeah.
attacks.
The death process would be what they would consider the cause of death.
Yeah.
And once you start to show the results of untreated cancer, that's the fever of that is the death.
Right.
And probably the strokes and the heart attacks that kill people now, people were dying of fevers before they got to anything.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so glad we talked this through.
Yeah. There you go.
Infections,
I'm so glad we
infections are like a huge thing. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
untreated
Because
infections.
this is before they knew about germs, hey?
Oh yeah.
This is
Way
when they were like,
before.
throw a little dirt in that. That'll heal that. Like, really, they were like,
And we're going backwards on the germ things because now people are like masks don't work.
oh yeah.
Okay.
No, but they really were like. There was the time when they would just be like, but don't wash that utensil. It's about to go in this man. Like, it was like literally like that. They're like, you foolish nurse. You're gonna kill him.
There was a person apparently, the first guy, there was this guy in like Europe that was apparently like, I think he was saying people keep dying whenever I do surgery on them. I think there might be tiny little things we can't see that are killing them.
Yeah.
Have you heard this story? It's like, I think there might be tiny little things that are killing them. And everyone was like, you're crazy.
You're a witch.
Baby witches?
Yeah, baby witches. They're like, that's
Tiny
the
little baby
craziest shit I've
witches?
ever heard. And
Yeah.
the guy was like,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, we covered something similarly where when they were kind of going through like the genesis of like, now wait. Dirty things seem to infect. No, I know it's crazy, but listen closely. And people are like, oh, here we go again.
All of my American history, or the majority of it's taken from the Tom Hanks produced John Adams series.
Oh, okay.
And there's an episode in that where there's the smallpox or these wilts. There's a fever going around this disease, and the way to what's the word? Inject. What's the word? Vaccinate the kids.
Just take a little bit of it.
Take the pus.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And put it in everyone.
That's
and if
cool.
you survive that, good, and some didn't, and that was
Yeah.
the vaccination.
You rub it in their eye.
Yeah.
That's
So that's
cool.
fun.
Yeah, and
is fun.
we learned now that was microchipping.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
That was-
acquiring
that was,
They were-
important data.
So slowly figuring out where everyone went.
Yeah.
So,
That's what little microchips
the
are
grand
in there.
plan of where did you go? And we're still dealing with it.
John Fowler lying, drowned in! Exclamation point.
Drowned in.
Drowned in. Okay.
Hop Brook, so called, where the water was not anywhere more than knee deep. I think that's supposed to be the headline, but it's just the
So
first.
he drowned in hot water no more than a feet. deep.
hop water.
Still,
hop
foot
brook.
deep hop water.
Hop brook. He drowned in the water.
River.
No, but it's just water.
Just no more than a foot
knee
deep.
deep water. Okay.
Suspicious.
Yep. He went from his house about an hour before sunset last evening with intent to go to the mill. He
Big
not
day.
yeah.
I'm off to the mill. You guys weigh your coat.
No, I'm off to the mill. I have intent to go to the
I have
mill.
intent to go to the mill.
Well,
What
I'm
is your
off to the
intent?
mill. Hopefully I
Well,
don't find a puddle.
well, it's almost nighttime. I'm off to the mill.
Well, you know me. I'm going to go to the mill.
Is the mill the pub? Is that?
No, it's an actual mill.
Just
Now
like
to
a
get
miller.
wheat, I imagine, or grain, some sort of grain.
Yeah,
Does
probably.
it specify the grain?
It does not.
All right, I'm gonna go to the mill at midnight.
He not returning, his son-in-law this morning went after him,
Well, a
found
little late.
found the horse and the bridle turned with the reins lying on his neck. He
Oh, yeah.
going to the brook, not 100. Oh, the brook. Okay. Not 100 rods from the house, found his father.
Under the great measurement.
100 rods. Is
Why'd
that
we
the same
get rid
as
of
a
that?
click?
Could you step it out?
Hey, Rod! What? How many of the 50? Okay, great.
Found his father lying underwater with his face downward. A surprising spectacle indeed.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
You feel like they get bored. They
Reach
get
for
bored.
comment. I'm a little shocked. He was dead.
We already used those strange.
Yeah.
I read it. I just feel like you need to spice it up a little bit.
Sure.
Was that the ending? Was that
No.
no, okay. Because I love the idea that this is also in the rip for them. This is what a funny little story.
Should we do a cartoon? What does everyone think? What's everyone feeling?
Only a foot.
I mean, really though, only a foot.
Yeah.
The jury's verdict was he fell from his horse into the brook and was drowned in the water.
Stupid jury.
So probably.
I reckon
Something-
he killed himself.
Oh,
I reckon he got
interesting.
drowned.
I feel like he had like a stroke or something and then just dropped in it.
But they're saying that the reins on the horse were pulled like hard, like he was riding at night. He couldn't see where he was going. He
Oh,
tried
right.
to avert
Oh,
it,
right.
Yeah.
falling off the
Oh,
horse.
maybe dragged him into
This
the
guy.
Yeah, really good.
Friends over here.
I know, we all heard it too, but I'm not like, my wheels aren't spinning that direction.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with
I
characters.
think you might have just solved.
get them on
Yeah,
the
This was
phone.
a cold case.
Is there an
This
800
was a
number?
cold case.
There's more.
Oh, there's more.
This man was born in Britain, appeared to be upwards of 70 years of age. He had a gallon bottle full of cider to carry to the mill, fastened to his hand and swimming in the water when he was found. So he was shit-faced.
Yeah.
Let's go to the mill.
Well, he was English, so
Yeah, my intent is to go to the mill. Why do you have a gallon of cider
what are you, my dad?
It's strapped to your head?
Oh, here we go again. I ride better after a couple.
Just drink driving.
Yeah.
Where are you going? The mill.
Yeah, he was just gonna go like whack off in the forest drunk. He was like, the mill. Fuck off.
I gotta go to the mill.
Yeah, he was probably cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably go to the mill. 9:45.
We're out of flour.
Yeah, I should probably go get a bit of flour at the mill. We have plenty. I don't like that flour.
Not self-raising.
It's stale. Yeah. I'll be about 500 rods away. Don't freak out. You relax, lady.
I might grab a little drink.
You know what? I think I might take a big thing. Let's put that barrel on my back like I'm a St. Bernard, would you? Fuck it. Let's party.
Oh man. Yeah, that's full. That's sad.
Yeah, we all dealt with it very sadly, didn't we?
This one's long.
Yeah,
I love a long one.
A few days ago, 3 sharpers went to a public house in Rochester and sent for a tradesman, pretending they would be customers to him.
What's a sharper?
Sharper, yeah.
I don't know what a
Someone
sharper
who sharpens
is.
things, maybe.
Yeah, it might be
Sounds
a knife sharpener or something
No,
like that.
I think it's
No,
like a con man.
I feel like it's a hooligan.
Sharper.
Or like a sharper.
Yeah.
Sharp
Yes.
little-
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they did. They had ill intent, correct? They didn't have
Yes,
mill intent.
they do have the
Nice. Nice.
What was their intent?
Yeah.
Yeah, sharpers. I like sharpers.
Yeah.
You're a couple of sharpers.
I'm still a sharper.
That sounds like a Blade Runner. It could also be in the near
Yeah.
future.
There were
the name
sharpers
for it.
here.
Yeah, goddamn sharpers.
Don't they? Do they help you up the mountain in Everest?
That's a Sherpa.
Oh,
I
That's a
thought it
Sherpa.
might have
I'm
been
so
Sherpa.
sorry.
You need a,
we don't.
you need,
Yeah, I don't know if there
you
would
need a
be.
sharper Sherpa if you get lost, though.
We don't have a lot of Sherpas in New England. I don't know. I wasn't around at the time, but I don't
Could have
think.
used one for the mill guy. Put some more cider on your back.
Am I allowed to Google?
Yeah, you Google.
It's a swindler,
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so
All
it
right.
is.
Yeah.
especially at cards.
Maverick.
Yeah.
In the course of conversation, one of them took occasion to mention an affair which just happened where they had been. That a person undertook for a trifling wager to repeat the words, "There he goes," for a quarter of an hour.
The choice of what to go into detail in is always
phenomenal.
I know.
always fascinating.
I'll expound on that.
It says successfully, but it's got to mean consecutively, I think.
Okay.
For a quarter of an hour without moving from his feet, which, easy as it appears, he could not perform. So for 15 minutes, the guy was supposed to say, "There he goes," over and over and over again. For 15 minutes, he couldn't do it.
To the okay.
To
What?
the man that's
It was a bet.
Right.
Oh, it was a bet.
I bet you can't say "There he goes" for 15 minutes.
So the sharpers
simpler
brought
time.
in the
Yeah.
This
tradesperson.
This is a story they're telling.
and they said earlier there was a bet
Yeah.
where a man couldn't say
There he
There he goes
goes.
for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's not that hard.
it was.
Well-
It was back then.
well.
This is people couldn't stay alive between
Yeah.
the gate and the door.
He'll probably have a stroke during it.
The unsuspecting tradesman caught the bait and proposed himself to repeat the same words for double the time. So this guy's like, "I'll do that for 30
do it
minutes.
for 30.
Let's go."
Yeah.
The sharper took him at his word, and 10 guineas were immediately staked, whereupon he placed himself facing the dial, but left any tricks should be played therewith. He pulled out his gold watch and placed it on the table before him. Okay, so timing.
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Preliminaries now being settled, he proceeded on the performance, but here he had made such progress, his opponents swept money and watch off the table and walked out.
So
he was getting
was
so
the con,
far.
Right. The
He was
con was
doing
basically
so
the
well.
15-minute guy was probably in on it, right?
Must have been.
So he's like, I'll do it for 15. And this guy's like, 15, I'll do 30. And they're like, dumbass, put the watch down.
The money.
He's doing it. Yeah, the watch and the money down. And he's doing really well.
grab
And they're
it.
like, yeah, I don't like what
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
at."
yeah.
Not really good at swindling or sharpening.
Unless this was the whole plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
that's
this
what I
guy
would
was
think.
in on
Okay.
it too.
So they're
Yeah.
like,
Half-hour
he's
guys.
thinking you've got a fake clock here.
Yeah.
I'll get out my watch, and the whole time they wanted his watch.
Well,
You know.
Well, I mean, Dave? Is that what happens?
This is hard to read.
Okay.
The tradesman, supposing this to be only a scheme for him to lose the wager, I think, continued steadfast in repeating only the aforementioned words, "There he goes." So he kept...
Oh, so maybe they're just trying to throw him off.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
By being like, hey, buddy, you're going to do it. We're out of here. And then he'd be like, hey, what the fuck? We had a deal. And they're like, you stop.
Yeah. But he kept going.
Yeah, but he was smart. He was like,
Yeah.
Or incredibly stupid.
Right,
let's say.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's find out.
The landlord, observing his companions walk out, went to acquaint him with his suspicion. When he entered the room, he found his guest as before described, but could receive no answer from him, but there he goes.
This guy's stuck. So the landlord of the bar, right?
Landlord of the bar.
Comes up and goes, hey, man, those guys who just bet you to say, there he
they're
goes,
trying to right.
They're trying to swindle you. And then this guy was like,
No.
there he goes. There he goes.
Dude, this is like, I'm not going to stop
He's like, you
saying
think
it.
you're going to fuck me?
Yeah, nice
Absolutely.
try.
No one can fuck me.
Goddamn,
There
it's
he
really
goes.
good. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
Apprehending he was delirious, it was now judged, can't read that word, requite,
Yeah, that feels like it's in the right realm.
to send some skillful person to assist him. An apothecary was thereupon...
Does anyone need some lamb wool and garlic? Get the fuck out of here.
There's a man who won't stop saying, there he goes. Is anyone here an apothecary?
Does anyone need a potion to stop a man from saying there he
We
goes?
need a potion for this man. Oh, my lord.
That's
Bit
so
of
funny.
mushroom and newt penis ought to eliminate this stutter.
This is escalated. This is
I love
going
this.
in
I love
directions I did not expect.
This long one is much better than the first long one.
Fun one.
Yeah.
An apothecary was therefore provided, who, when entered, found the tradesman in the aforementioned position, saying, there he goes.
I mean,
He's a
There he goes, there he goes, there he goes.
he's been saying this for 28 minutes. Please cure him.
Arguments they found were in vain. They therefore were about to proceed to forcible means to attract his attention otherwise. But as they were entering on their intended operation, the time expired, and the tradesman, with an oath, declared he had won the wager. So he got to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This unexpected change surprised the... I can't read who it was, but the guys.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, the landlord.
And we suppose the visited was not less alarmed when, informed of the trick which had passed on him, and to heighten his vexation, he cannot now show his face without being insulted by the boys with "there he goes." So they just took the money and left.
Yeah.
And now he looks like an asshole because they were trying to stop him.
Right.
And now every time he goes back to the place, everyone goes, there he goes. So his life is hell.
And
That's
he
a
lost
fun.
his watch.
That's
He
a
lost his
fun
watch.
story. I thought it would go darker. Or
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I
That
had
was
fun
actually,
with
yeah.
that.
That is like,
It's a bit of a ribbon with the boys.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just a bit of
Like,
hey, you idiot.
Did he see? Was he facing a wall?
No, he saw them. I think he
Yeah.
saw them take it.
He
and
saw it.
They're
thought
trying to
that was
create-
them bucking
Yeah, but
with him.
once they leave,
Like they were putting a sword through him, and he was like, there he goes, there he goes.
Their belief is that they're going to take the money and the watch, and he's going to think it's them trying to throw him off and stay there.
Yeah, right.
So he stays there while they get away.
yeah,
because that's 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 always.
But I
Win-win
just
for
think
the
it's-
shoppers, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's
Yeah.
waiting for the big
Shabbos.
reveal. He's like, all right, boys, nice try. Like, they left 25 minutes ago.
That's
like, what?
great. That's so.
What do you
nice.
mean?
I can understand sticking through it, but once they leave the saloon
Or follow
wherever
him.
they are,
Just like, there he
yeah,
goes,
follow
there he
him.
goes,
Yeah,
there he
yeah,
goes, there he
yeah.
goes, there he goes,
he
there he
thinks-
goes,
he
there he
thinks-
goes.
He thinks if he goes outside, they're going to be standing there smoking a cigarette. And plus, the fact that they say them saying there he goes is so
It's tough
great.
for him. It's like last.
odd
He's like
choice.
getting the
Yeah,
police.
'cause
He's like, there he goes,
there he goes, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes.
there he
And they're like,
goes.
what?
There he
Stop
goes,
saying
there he
that. There he goes, there he goes.
Amazing. I love how how the smartest ideas are really, really stupid.
Yeah.
This has got that quality to
Yeah.
it. That's a really
That's the
stupid
piss.
plan.
That's the equivalent of the piss on the bar. You know that whole.
No.
Fill the shot glass.
Yeah.
right,
Fill the
yeah.
shot glass with piss thing. It's
No.
like an old.
No,
cow.
It's where it's just it's basically. Go ahead.
Yeah, like a guy says he makes a
Yeah.
bet with someone.
Yeah, like $20.
Well, with the bar owner, right?
Yeah,
he goes up to
$20.
the bar owner. He's like, $20. I can piss from here to the end of the bar into that shot glass, and I will not spill a drop. Every single drop of my piss will go into that shot glass. And the bartender's like, no fucking way, I'll take that bet, right? You're going to owe me $20. And the guy pulls his dick out, and he pisses everywhere. He pisses on the bar, he pisses on the bar, he pisses everywhere but the shot glass. And the bartender's pissing himself laughing, and he's like, you owe me $20. And he's like, 1 minute. And then the guy walks over to someone on the other side of the bar, gets $100 off him, comes back, gives him $20. And he's like, what just happened? He's like, well, I bet that guy over there that I will get my dick out, piss on your bar, piss on your face, piss everywhere. And not only would you not get mad, you'd be laughing and you'd be happy about it.
That's a great. I love that this newspaper is these sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
that's,
I love
yeah,
that
it
it's
must be from one of these papers.
It might
The
be.
idea of people, olden days people, like reading that, and being like, "Oh, get this, get a load of this." That's
Well. There he goes.
there he goes.
Last one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
On Monday, two young fellows who were at the execution of Williamson in Moorfields.
We're back.
Full circle.
We're back.
And this is what I want to know. This is just the front cover, right?
This is the paper.
we've this is 8 pages. We're
Yeah,
deep
okay.
in.
Oh, we're deep in. Right, okay.
Yeah, we're about to hit the want ads.
Yeah.
In Moorfields for the murder of his wife, on their return home, chatting with each other and making light of the pain which a criminal endured in hanging.
Oh my god, what a crazy contextualization.
Yeah.
So there they are, welcome back, chewing the fat, laughing about the murder that they just saw publicly.
One of them agreed to be hanged for 2 or 3 minutes in order to judge with certainty. He accordingly pulled a. So
Okay.
This is like a. This is like the third story in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like looping back around.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you thought that was the end of that story.
Yeah.
No, there's
Another Sonic moment.
They were in the crowd at the first 3 pages.
this is the extras.
Clarify me, guys. I'm going to see if I can hang myself for 3 minutes. Is that
Yeah,
right?
because they just saw the execution, so he's like, I bet you can survive.
for 2 or 3 minutes.
Is this
3
one of
minutes.
the executions we've already heard?
Yeah, the
Yeah, this was the early
the
one.
bad
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I would make light.
I think
wow.
Williamson was the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So that's okay. They were making fun of it because
This
it
is
was the.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was the guy. Listen, to those of us who are listening to the podcast, I didn't realize it was the guy who was torturing his wife. So
Yeah, if it was either him or the forgery guy, then it is okay. I mean, it was also. I mean, the guy forged it.
It's John Williamson, yeah. John Williamson,
Yeah, Williamson.
who composed Star Wars. Is that
May
him?
the 4th.
wow, holy shit.
Holy shit.
Same guy.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
wow. Even then, they knew.
And this paper is actually written in slow yellow scroll. Just so you know, it's slowly coming up.
So, in order to judge with certainty, he accordingly pulled a cap over his face and swung himself off a chair.
You are kidding me. This is ludicrous.
Taking a handkerchief in his hand, which he was to drop whenever he wanted to be cut down.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what the handkerchief was for.
You have to jack off while we're doing it?
This is, I mean...
This is incredible.
This friend came up with a story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
And what was the handkerchief for?
Well, yeah, he was going to drop it. You see.
We were communicating through hankies.
At first, he plunged pretty much, but an interval of several minutes passed. Okay, well, several
pet's over.
minutes?
Yeah, the pet's over.
Yeah, you've won.
Several
Yeah.
minutes. And no handkerchief being dropped, his companion became uneasy.
Don't forget to drop it if you need help. It's been 35 minutes.
Companion.
Hey, buddy.
and thought proper to cut him down.
Oh,
When-
good friend. That's a good friend. That's a
I think proper.
He put
Yeah,
a hood
that's
on,
proper.
did he say? Why did
He
he put
had a cat over his face.
Oh, hat. Right.
So it's probably
Strange.
he probably just pulled down a big hat.
Yeah.
So funny.
Sure. Adds
This
to
is
it.
stupid.
Yeah, these are dumb guys. This is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, there's I know I said this earlier and I was wrong, but I think this man wanted to die. I think it was like,
it would be the
hey,
best
do you know
way to
what
do
would
it.
be so funny?
Yeah.
So I reckon let's just have a little bet.
I bet I could do it.
Yeah,
I think he was jerking it.
Yeah.
he was jerking it,
Yeah,
I like to
or he
think
just
both.
wanted to die.
Yeah.
Either drop the handkerchief or come. I need one.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Several minutes, cuts him down.
To his inexpressible
I
astonishment.
thought you were going to say in excess, which would have been fucking.
Yeah.
It was in excess. Sorry, I know that.
It's a yeah.
Sorry,
it's
actually,
Australian, right?
Australian.
I know it.
Really offensive.
Sorry.
I know he's one of your founding fathers.
Sorry. He's your Ben Franklin, right?
This is an
Michael
important
Hutchins,
figure in our
yeah.
history, you know?
Went to his inexpressible astonishment. He found him quite dead and was so
Quite dead.
so shocked at the circumstances that he lost his senses immediately and is now tied down, raving mad in his apartment.
Oh my God.
So he went crazy, and the other guy died.
Well, that just
Off an execution.
off of going.
From an execution.
This is why you
having
don't
a
have
Some would say they were haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's them sharpers and go, I bet you can't hang yourself for 7 minutes.
There he goes. There he goes.
I'll let you down.
Yeah.
That would be a great twist if this like whole newspaper
Oh, my
article just
God.
kept folding in on itself.
The Shyamalan Times.
It's just there's so little to do that you go to an execution with your friends, see that, and go, let's give it a go.
You're on the high. You're on the high from that public execution.
That was
You're
sick.
like,
Let's
yeah.
just try it. Let's do a
It's like
little.
going to
one
see an
for just
action
me and
movie
you.
and being like, I bet I could do that.
I do love that. I mean, I don't know, but you know, like people talk about violence in movies and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the only time where we just watched violence, fake violence. You know, like,
Yeah.
literally people went and watched execution.
That's the video games of their times, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, someone was
Ant-Man
like, I think these
Quantumania.
public executions or these parody executions might be correlated.
Yeah,
People,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, Professor. Relax. What else? You got more invisible witches on the utensils? Apothecary, we're going to need some seltzer and urine. This guy's out of his tits. Well,
But
thank
no.
you guys.
Oh,
Go
thank
ahead.
you.
No.
No, I was just saying clearly the man was jerking off. That's
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that was
none of that is.
Just want to get that off your chest before
The
we go.
dude was fucking.
That was a
jerking
David
off.
Carradine situation.
Oh, yeah, great.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. This was so much
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Pleasure.
Go to your website, antidonna.com.
Tickets.
Tickets.
Come.
Tour and
Yeah,
all the
come
English
like the guy in the last word.
Yeah, come just like the last man we heard.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank
Lovely
you so
to-
much, honestly.
And next time you're in Australia, we should get a cider and ride a horse into a
Go on
river.
the horse, get a cider in a puddle. I'd love it. That'd be great. All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
gents.
so much.
Yeah. Whew. That was great.
That was
Yeah, it was really good.
fantastic.
Such a fun.
These days, you'll miss me, honey. Some of these days.
Visit Spruce Street Harbor Park, your colorful urban oasis on the Philly waterfront now with more great food and drink, more events, and more fun. Enjoy hammocks, the colorful lights, and more free programming than ever before presented by Independence Blue Cross, including live music every Thursday through Saturday at the Lazy Hammock Stage, markets, movie screenings, and family fun days, all while enjoying the waterfront views and breezes. Learn more and check out the full event calendar at sprucestreetharborpark.com. That's sprucestreetharborpark.com.